What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Haze Demon Show. And today we're going to be going over the brand new tier list for Adventure for South Park Phone Destroyer for the year 2020. The one that you're seeing above me right now is actually the 2019 edition of the tier list, so we're just putting it up there for right now as like a placeholder. Trying to do these 2020 tier list videos a little bit quicker, because last time I was only releasing one of them at a time, revealing one card at a time, and then talking about it more. So if you want more in-depth explanation about where each card is going, make sure to check out my old tier list video, because even though some things have changed, a lot of things about each character still remains the same in the way that I feel about them. Because it's not like the character just has a different ability, you know what I'm saying? But we do have some brand new characters, so I'm going to make sure we talk about them as well. So, one thing to keep in mind here is that I base the card on how well the card can do by itself without needing any help from like Pope Timmy or from Youth Pastor Craig, or whatever, Stand Mini Moon, it says. Anyway, any kind of boosters, and also that the cards are being based on levels 4 Legend, level 5 Epic, level 6 Rares, and level 7 Commons. Last time we did this, it was level 3 Legendaries, etc. And also that I generally play around the 200 to 300 top people in the world in this game, so my opinion is going to be a little bit more based towards the higher end of the elo, but I can kind of understand how the game works lower, you know what I'm saying, in bronze and silver. So anyway, without further ado, I do believe that is everything, as well as make sure to bring a towel. Right, so let's check out these brand new spanking cards, the old tier list. Bye bye. Hello, nurse. So, what we have here is the S tier, and that's going to be Stan of Many Moons and Mesquite Murphy. Oh, look at this. I can make myself bigger as we speak. And look, I can point at him. Look at this. It's Big Mesquite Murphy right there. We can't go over to Stan of Many Moons. It's too far away. I know I'm trolling right now, but just trust me, chat. Trust me, it's for the fun in this here. So hopefully I'm not too big. I'll make it smaller too. So we're talking about the S tier class here first. First of all, Stan of Many Moons, 4 cost legendary. He has pretty decent stats, and also that he can blow up the entire field. Last time I gave him the A tier, and I decided that he is actually pretty damn strong, so he deserves to be in the S tier. And then the other card, he's a brand new card. His name's Big Mesquite Murphy. He's a 5 cost tank, and he is absolutely a beast. You know what I'm saying? Absolute monster. There's no doubt about it. His ability to stun, and I'm gonna quit trolling for right now. I'm getting too caught up in it. Right. So, Big Mesquite Murphy's ability is so good, even though he only is able to use it against kids and not adults. His ability to freeze units for like a second and a half, it's something crazy, you know. It makes it to where they can't use their abilities. It makes it to where they just can't attack, which makes him more tanky. He's already pretty tanky, but it makes him a lot more tanky because they just don't do anything. They just can't do anything. And then his ability to attack the closest kid to him by rushing towards them is just so powerful, and being able to attack the new kid, even though he doesn't do a lot of attack, he has so much health, and his sustainability by slow motion or slow freezing effects is just too good. So he easily earns himself in the S tier. And next we have here Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is just so powerful. I wanted to put Fireball. I wanted to switch him with Fireball and Lightning Bolt, but I just feel Lightning Bolt is so powerful with being only 4 energy, and it can do just so much damage, and its direct damage is really good as well. It just comes in such clutch. The 4 energy is just the perfect number for the type of ability that it can do, basically just destroying almost every normal card, and then any really high level legendaries, it just absolutely can help destroy them. And let's try to keep this going. I want to try to keep this fast. Next we have Pocahontas Randy. Pocahontas Randy is in the A tier. He's going to be the first A tier card we're talking about. He's a 5-cost fighter. He just has this lightning fast attack, and he has a decent amount of health. However, the reason why he's not an A tier is because he doesn't have enough health, in my opinion, to be warrant the 5 cost. He can definitely do quite a bit of damage. His Indians can help out a lot, but I just feel like he's too easy to counter, and it's too much of an investment in the middle of a battle. But A tier is nothing to be too shabby about, my dear. He can definitely do damage. Up next, we have Fireball. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Next, we've got the Fireball. 5 energy. You can literally wipe an entire army from the face of the earth with this card. But some of the more tankier units, they just shrug it off like it's absolutely nothing whatsoever. So I would say that Fireball can definitely get the value for 5 energy versus like 10 energy army, but people can spread their units out a lot, so that's why I don't put it as an S tier card, because there is ways that you can work around Fireball, and then also you're not putting a unit on the field. And the next card we're going to talk about in the A tier is Incan Craig. Incan Craig was in the S tier last time we did this video. He got a pretty significant nerf with his width of his laser being shorter. Then also that it does less damage to the new kid, I do believe. Or it just doesn't do as much damage. I'm pretty sure. Yep. Pretty sure that's what it was. I don't think they nerfed anything else. But anyway, he's still a very good card. And you're putting a body on the field, and you're able to destroy everything in the line, and you're able to do chip damage, which literally can win the game in a lot of type situations. No matter what, you just can't. You can prevent people from being able to make a push against you. So I feel like he's still a very strong card, but he gets taken down from his S tier from the nerf. The next card that we're going to be talking about here is going to be Swordsman Garrison. Swordsman Garrison is a 5-cost fighter that has a decent amount of health and a decent amount of attack with an ability that can do penetrating damage in a AoE and cone in front of him. I feel like his ability is not wide enough, or sometimes it's just too easy for him to be facing the wrong direction, that he can end up not being able to do the damage that you would want him to. But he's still a very strong card. Like I said, he's got the same, pretty much very comparable to Pocahontas Randy, except instead of spawning a unit, he does AoE damage. But that AoE damage can come in clutch for sure, there's no doubt about it, putting him in the B class. The next card that we've got here is going to be Hookhand Clyde. Hookhand Clyde, for 3-cost fighter, epic. He is able to put out a pretty good amount of damage with his parrot, but it is random. It still can swing the tide of the battle in your favor 100%, taking down very key targets, or even doing damage directly to the new kid as well. Everything's random, but you can kind of manipulate him in ways, I suppose you could say, that puts him in the B tier. Pretty good health, pretty good attack, but mainly it's all about his parrot. You can win your games and you can lose your games on your parrots, there's no doubt about it. Next card we've got here is going to be Aerostorm. Aerostorm is a 4-cost spell epic card. It does AoE damage across the entire field. This card doesn't do enough damage to put it up in a higher on the list. However, that does make it a balanced card, because it literally just hits everything on the field. It doesn't put a body on the field, it just does a lot of damage, and if you try to overstep your boundary, this card will set you, will put you in place, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely a good card for sure. The next card we've got here is going to be Medicine Woman Sheeran. Medicine Woman Sheeran was lower on the list last time. She was about 2 lower. I think I put her in the C- category, and that was before she got recently nerfed and after she got buffed, which I know that seems kind of funny. She got bumped up 2 tiers because I didn't realize at the time that her buff from back in the day was actually a really good buff. However, she has been nerfed since then, so she actually would have been an A tier, maybe even an S tier card, but because of the nerf to her healing on the new kid, that she is now in the B class, and I think that's fine because she does an okay amount of damage. She can heal up some tanky units, but she doesn't heal the new kid as much, right? So I feel like that's pretty balanced with her. She's still a very strong card, no doubt about it. She has survivability written all over her, no doubt about it. Next card we've got here is gonna be Inuit Kenny. Inuit Kenny was actually 2 tiers down from the last time that we did this thing. I believe that was a C-. I had him down there. We had Dougie up in the same spot. I switched them back and forth because there was a pretty big nerf for Dougie. And we're talking about level 4 legendaries this time, and Inuit Kenny can really do a lot more damage at that point, and make it possible that he could get the kills and make good trades. He would obviously be an A tier or S tier if he had a lot more health and could survive AoE attacks of some sorts. It can be really easy to counter him with just getting another assassin in there and doing the damage, but once you can definitely sneak him in there, so I feel like he's got a little bit better strength for sure than the last time we talked about him. So B tier for Inuit Kenny. The next card we're going to be talking about here is going to be Storyteller Jimmy, the first card in our C+ category. Then there's nothing really changed with Storyteller Jimmy. He's pretty much in the same spot as he was last time. He just has okay health. He has a kind of a weak attack, but he weakens the attack of units around him. The swarm units are more abundant nowadays, but it still doesn't really make that much of a difference if he's going to be getting soloed out there or whatnot. But, I mean, he has his place in certain decks where you just need that extra fighter, but there's a lot better cards out there for sure. But C+, you can make him work. Next on the C+ category we've got here is Swashbuckler Red. Swashbuckler Red is one of the new cards that has come out since the last tier list videos, I do believe so. And I put her in the C+ category because for a 4-cost fighter with epic and the ability to taunt units around her, I feel like she doesn't do her job well enough. Her taunt ability can be strong in particular moments, but that's still relying on the other cards to be able to do what they're supposed to do. And then if the units that she's supposed to be protecting get killed some other way, she doesn't have the stats to be able to back it up. She doesn't have enough health to really tank shots because she's a fighter. So I feel like she's kind of in a weird place where she should have just been a tank unit and just been a lot more tanky. I mean, obviously not the same thing as Zen Cartman because she's it's a war cry, right? But she's an epic. I feel like they could have did a little better with her. If she was a lot more tankier, I guess I could see her being a higher tier, maybe B tier at most. But the ability isn't as powerful as you would hope for, I feel like. Next we've got here is Bandidas Sally. Alrighty, so the way that I feel about Bandidas Sally is that she's a 2-cost assassin. She's a common card. She can do the damage, but she is just underwhelming when it compares to other epic or even some of the rare assassins. The 2 energy, you can make it work. She can do the damage, but it's just not enough. Her stats just don't show enough, and she doesn't have a death wish. What we have here next is Smuggler Ike, the two-cost fighter. I mean, a two-cost assassin. Smuggler Ike is a two-cost assassin, common card, the same thing as Bandidas Sally, except that he has a charge ability that will raise his attack. Generally, you might be able to raise his attack one time, but if you do, you might miss the chance to be able to use his ability. So I find both him and her being in the C+ category, not being able to be strong enough to be a good competitive assassin. And the next card that we have is going to be the first card in the C- category. That's going to be Calamity High D. With Calamity High D, we have her in the C- category. She's a two-cost common card fighter. She actually has pretty decent stats, pretty decent health, I should say, but she has no ability. So you can't really, you can use her, but she's just not going to be able to make the difference in a match, like, entirely. She'll be able to clutch against some assassins that are moving sideline or whatnot, but she just doesn't have it, man. The next card in the C- category is going to be Buccaneer Bay Bay. With Buccaneer Bay Bay, we had her actually a lower tier before. I believe one tier lower. We might have had her 2 tiers lower. I decided to move her up, and the biggest reason why is a lot more people are running assassins or spam slash swarm decks. So she has the potential, more likely nowadays, to be able to build up a really strong attack and make her worth having somebody use a removal card against her, right? And she has a pretty decent amount of health also. So I've decided to bump her up 1 tier. The next card that we're going to be talking about is going to be Sharpshooter Shelley. Next we have Sharpshooter Shelley. She definitely was in the F tier the last time we did this list. They buffed her health and they buffed her attack, I do believe. And then they made it to where her ability could hit multiple units. She had a really weird problem with targeting that sometimes would make it to where her ability wouldn't work. She wouldn't be able to knock anybody back. So by being able to hit multiple units, raised her up and gave her stats, better stats from the F tier all the way to the C- tier. There's actually, you can actually do something with this character now. Pretty awesome. The final card for the C- category is gonna be Beryl Dougie. That's right. And here we have Beryl Dougie, the assassin headhunter with the ability to do extra damage on the first attack. He got nerfed. He's probably in the worst position out of all of them. I mean, him and Prophet Dougie are pretty close to as bad as each other now. You can still sneak him in, and he can take the bar, but they have to be already at a lower amount of health. It's not where before he would pretty much take a bar and a half by just hitting one time. They actually nerfed him a lot more than they nerfed the other ones. I think he got 2 nerfs actually, while the other ones did not. Oh, they only got 1 nerf. I think so, right? Maybe. So he's definitely a lot worse than he used to be. It also takes a long time for him to hit the first time, which is a part of his ability, so he's even more likely to be countered, putting him in the C- category. And the next card we're going to be talking about here is going to be Shaman Token. Now we have the D category, which is going to be Shaman Token, who was in the F category last time. I decided to bump him up 2 categories because he got a 40% increase in his health, which to me means that he has more survivability. I still think he's not going to make a big difference in the game. That's why he's still so low on the list. But it does, more health, it does to me mean at least 2 tiers more. 40% is a lot of a health buff, and this is more like I can see him being played in challenge mode now, at least. And the next card on the list is gonna be Outlaw Tweak. Outlaw Tweak. Outlaw Tweak is a 4-cost ranged unit that can use an AoE attack that's random, similar to Hook Hand Clyde, where it will randomly hit a different target. Who knows what. It could be good with the swarm units, however, with swarm units also meaning more likely to not hit a good target. So I feel like he was higher up on the list before. He's lower list on the now. I think only 1 tier down, but I think he's okay. He's just random, so he doesn't really work out as good. And we've got Gunslinger Kyle coming at you as our next card. And then we've got Gunslinger Kyle, which I can't remember where he was before. I want to say he was lower, and I think I brought him up 1 tier. I believe so. And the reason why is because it is possible that you could get his ability off, and you have a bunch of units on the field that get a huge buff from his attack buff. But the thing is that his attack and his health are very bad. So even though his ability is very good, his stats are very bad. That puts him really far down in the D category. He probably would be a C+ card, maybe even a B card if he had better stats. But being a common card, probably not going to happen. And the next card that's going to be coming up here is going to be Captain Wendy. And here we have Captain Wendy, the 3-cost ranged unit, rare. She has the triple shot ability, hitting 3 different units within a circle around her. Her ability, I think, is really good. It can come in really clutch. She just doesn't really have the health and the attack to be able to back it up. If she had that and maybe a buff to her ability, she could definitely go up higher on the list because of her, just her design is good. Could be right up there with Sheeran, Medicine Woman Sheeran, if she was to get a buff, like just a little bit. Oh, pretty good. I mean, like, just health and attack is what I'm saying. Yep. And ability. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's everything, right? What am I saying? That's why she's in the D category. But I still think that she's not that bad. I don't know. It's kind of mixed feelings for her. And the next card that we're going to be talking about here is going to be Deckhand Butters, the final card in the D category. And here we have Deckhand Butters, the 3-cost assassin. You can make his ability work, and you can heal up a unit that's a valuable unit that could make the difference in a match, but it's so hard to get it to work correctly. And even though his stats are not that bad for being a 3-cost assassin, it's just not really worth it whenever you can use a 2-cost assassin and do the same thing pretty much, and possibly even get a better Death Wish through a different assassin. So I feel like he just falls short of... Death Wish is kind of hard to make sure it goes correctly, because it can definitely hit the wrong unit pretty easily, and then just being a higher cost. If he was just a 2-cost, I would say he would bump Bandita and Smuggler Ike down 1 tier, and then he would be in their place, I would think. Just by being 1 cost lower, but because they don't have Death Wishes, and their abilities aren't really good either. And for the 1E card we've got here is going to be Pirate Ship Timmy. So here we have the E category, right? The 1 card in the E category, Pirate Ship Timmy. He's just not as good as the other ranged units in Adventure. He falls short, but the only reason why he didn't hit the F category is because his ranged ability... His ability's range is so large that you can somewhat do something with it, but his health is low, his attack is kind of low, and he moves really fast. He moves way faster than all the other Timmys. So moving fast for a ranged unit is literally a death wish, and that's what Pirate Ship Timmy's looking for. So the only thing good about him is his ability is very long range. And last but not least, the only card that we had here in the F category, that's going to be Sheriff Cartman. Bum bum bum. And here we have Sheriff Cartman, the 4-cost tank rare unit. The only card in Adventure going to hit that F tier status this time around. His ability doesn't do nowhere near enough damage. He doesn't have enough tank. He should probably only cost 3 energy instead of 4. And his attack should probably do a little bit more damage as well. He needs an all-around, everything needs to be buffed up, especially his ability. That would make him a lot better. But I think if he was just a 3-cost unit, you could compare him more easily to Zen Cartman. And then it wouldn't be that bad. Because he has that little bit of the energy is even, but he has a little bit of attack. Well, he has an attack, obviously, and an AoE ability, while Zen Cartman doesn't. And that's the trade from the amount of health difference, because even at 4 cost, Sheriff Cartman has less health than the 3 cost Zen Cartman, which kind of makes sense because Zen Cartman doesn't attack, but Zen Cartman's also 1 energy less, so it doesn't make sense there. But alrighty guys, that is going to be my brand new 2020 tier list video for South Park Phone Destroyer. I hope you guys enjoyed it very much. Again, make sure to check out my original Adventure tier list video if you want a more in-depth talk about each card, because I'm just trying to kind of skim through it as quickly as I can and not really get too much into detail. But let me know what you guys think and where would you place the cards. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and if you did, make sure to subscribe and like and leave a comment. That's right. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to bring a towel. Peace out. See you guys in the next one for sci-fi, I believe. No, mystical. Pretty sure it'll be mystical. We'll see. And the final card for the C- category is gonna be the I looked at the damn wall like it's gonna be there.
Young people from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part. Are you? Join the Towel Nation and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship.